All right. Moose, you want to do intros?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Excited to have everybody here and excited to show you all what we've been working on here at Theorem, specifically the law firm RFP process. And I'm sure many of you have heard about it or talked to me about it in the past. But we're excited to do a quick run through here and show you guys what it's all about, what it can do for you guys, how it can connect you with corporate legal teams. And have with me here today our CEO and founder of Theorem, Josh Maley, who'll be running through this fairly quick. We know everybody's busy, so we'll try to keep this short. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Also, feel free to stick around after we're done if you have time and want to chat a bit further. So with that, I'll let Josh take it away.
All right, it's a live demo, so apologies in advance if anything I have to make any changes on the fly, but we'll get you in and out here. Again, I'm Josh. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Theorem. Super excited to show you our new RFP tool, talk about the opportunities that are in the system here for this kind of being the place where you can come and compete to win business. As an attorney myself, this is something that I feel really passionate about, is making this kind of full stack legal procurement system and this RFP builder to connect buyers and sellers of legal technology and services. This is just where my passion kind of lies, and making this process really simple and streamlined. Um, Given the the competitive landscape and the tools that are there and all the great things that we have, and the AI that we can apply across the board, but really keep humans in the loop and making the system work for how business development, how marketing, and how sales. I know a dirty word, but how new business can kind of flow through the platform for you all to compete with. I got a quick slides for you. Not going to take too much of your time on these. I want to thank all of the advisory panel firms that have joined this initiative, listed on the bottom here. We've gotten some great feedback from folks. Shout out to David, shout out to Jennifer, shout out to Jim, shout out to all the folks who have kind of taken an initial look and done the initial onboarding. The folks who have brought in their proposal teams and their pricing teams to help us understand how to do rate cards and conflicts checks, and maybe take away some of the sales language in the platform to, business development and that kind of thing. So again, shout out to all those folks. What is Theorem? We are this RFP engine, the front door of legal procurement, helping in-house teams discover, compare, and credential firms, standardize proposal process and pricing, and drive kind of structured competition. We'll share all this stuff later, so don't have to be in it today. Today, the opportunities that we have, this is our platform action. We've got about 6,000 corporate legal departments, around 25,000 in-house subscribers, if that's right, Moose, close, maybe just under that 25,000, but we'll round up. So that should be good. Total marketplace value today, the opportunities that are live in this system. Obviously we post ranges for some of these, but we do require the legal buyers to have budgets posted. So the floor being just under 15 million, and the high around 30, so somewhere in the middle there in terms of the opportunities. Average blended that we say on the bottom, kind of bottom threshold. This isn't, the most accurate slide here, but around 150K to 250K on kind of like your minimum types of opportunities that are in the platform. So breakdown by practice areas that we already have live. We have employment and labor, regulatory and compliance. This includes trade. I think there's like a tariff one that I just saw recently. Intellectual property, corporate, some kind of ad hoc edge cases as well with like government technology transactions. And we'll continue to post in there. Here's some of the locations. We're hoping to have more broad, kind of location coverage in throughout the U.S. For some of you full service or regional folks, I figured this would be important. Just can you kind of see where these, matters and opportunities are flowing through? What makes us different? And I'm going to get into all this. I'm going to show you the platform. No, hide the ball here. No reverse auctions. This we know is good. Thanks, Moose. I forgot to delete this little piece, but we know this is good. This is about quality over, the quantity piece. I think that Although a lot of it's being commoditized in this day and age, it isn't always all about price, right? So we didn't want to have reverse auctions. It was something that we felt strongly about, and given my background as an attorney, and kind of how I look at how the sell side being law firms wants to deal with this platform. We wanted to eliminate that. Other platforms like Pursuit, a lot of customizations for the buyer. Ours is really standard. I'll show you that extremely standard process. We want to make the intake and how we grab these opportunities and create the response templates just really seamless, really easy. It's just about connection. It's not so much about so much like heavy on platform lift as much as about just doing the matchmaking and getting the opportunities in front of you. Our RFP templates per matter type will be completely standardized. This is free for in-house teams, aiming for high adoption. Um, and sort of just so you know where some of our opportunities come from, obviously they come from the Theorem network and our personal network. But we've also got great relationships and partnerships, and shout out to the ACC, to Clock, and the other networks that we didn't put logos in here for that help us kind of gather the opportunities. Moose being from the ACC, there's so many different things that folks like those networks are doing. Right, they have new in-house legal department networks. Folks do not have an easy way to do sourcing and things like that, particularly if they're new to an in-house role or they just took one. So this is just kind of aimed at them, and those networks give us a good opportunity to kind of pull that stuff. So how Theorem works, you link rfp.theoremlegal.com. This is right on the website. You set up your profile, you can pre-fill your responses, respond and win. And so that's kind of how this works. And I'll walk you through that platform here. Some integrations, and again, you can chat with Moose in the chat here if you have some questions as we're going through the integrations that we're looking through. We've heard from some of you. Again, shout out to the advisory board that are using Foundation and things like that to do their current process. So we've already made some connections to these various vendors to talk about integration so that we can get your knowledge into the response automation piece of what we have. Post call, please reach out to Mustafa if you have any questions. Mustafa@theoremlegal.com. Good to go. And we're going to jump right into the platform. So it's easy to sign in. Publicly, you can view some opportunities. You just come in, you create your provider account. You're going to sign in. I obviously have an account, so I'm going to log in here. And we're going to go live. This is not a, recorded demo or sort of thing. So we'll see how this goes. As a provider, I am the Theorem law firm. I'm going to complete my firm's profile. You'll have a full onboarding checklist here. And you can upload your rates, respond to your opportunities, all of that. I've done these things so you see that they're completed. But I wanted to show the conflicts waiver agreement because this was something that was, this was something that was brought up to us. Originally, we were making everything anonymous, but we now have a new system for when you view the opportunities. These anonymous opportunities, once you sign the conflict waiver, right, the name of that organization becomes available for you to respond to. But just to give you a quick walkthrough, you've got the left side of navigation here. Opportunities are under the opportunities piece. Your profile, you can create your firm profile right in here. Everything that you would need from adding your practice group and competitors so you show up on their pages. I'm not going to go through the profile creation, but feel free to if you get in the platform to invite your marketing folks and those types of people that manage maybe listings on chambers and things like that to produce this. Where Theorem started was that we had a complete marketplace, right, for legal technology and law firms that we had white labeled to groups like the ACC and Clock. And you can come in and see their law firm marketplace. And so one of the great advantages, let's say, one of the great features of this platform is you're not just getting the opportunity to respond to RFPs that are live from these networks and from our network, you're also getting the opportunity to create your listing through the platform. And that listing is how, with all this data, is how we'll do the matchmaking, right? When you upload your practice areas, when you upload what it is that your firm is specialized in, that's how the system can do the matchmaking from the opportunity to what you have. And it's a great additional benefit that when you join the platform, you will also have a firm profile and listing in all across all of our major networks that comes with your subscription. So kind of a real nice thing. Back to the dashboard. We've got rate cards, we've got office locations, you can add your timekeepers. All this stuff is really easy to kind of look through and create. Again, shout out to David for giving us some stuff on adding standard rate cards and sort of your rack rates and things like that. And remember, all this is something that you can pre-fill and pre-upload, but you can also wait until there's an opportunity that you see, and then all this will be saved to your account. So I don't want to spend too much time kind of, bogged down in any of these particular user interfaces, but we'll get to the opportunities and how do I apply to them. So once you've created your account, you've set everything up, you can pre-fill all of your responses, right? And you can view all the different template questions that we have from your firm's practice areas and experience and track record, service delivery and resourcing, technology enablement, all of that. And you can set up your firm's complete RFP response template so that when you get into the opportunity, and I'll show you that here in a second, it preloads all of your answers. And so, as a seller, I can go view the opportunities in the system. I can see all this. I've got some active opportunities here. Conflicts waiver is required to, be signed before I do anything. So if I go to view and respond, I'll have to sign that conflicts waiver. And once I do that, you'll notice that all of these opportunities then became visible. I'm not showing any of the specific company names here for purposes of this demo. Also, it's um, you know, this is live and recorded, so we're going to keep all that under wraps here. But when you go to respond as a law firm, you can hit the questionnaire and it will ask you to pre-fill the questions that you have. So this questionnaire here is actually 38 questions. You can go ahead and pre-fill that, and then it will show that all of your questions have been pre-filled on the right-hand side here for each one of those sections of this RFP. This RFP being for wage and hour class action defense. Again, this is a test and demo. And you can also view many of the different the stuff about this RFP on the overview page. But you'll notice that all of your stuff was filled in, and you'll have to go through each question and verify those responses. So it won't auto submit for you, but it's just a really nice way to show. So when you kind of go through, you can mark each one of these complete until you get a check mark. You'll notice on every RFP response that there is buyer dynamic questions. So please confirm that, which of the required practice areas your firm can support. Right. Can you provide coverage for the buyer's jurisdiction, which is in California? Yes, of course. And so obviously the buyer dynamic piece of this and anything that the buyer has added on top of our core template will be added into this questionnaire here. And so once you're complete with that, I can go and show you what that looks like. We'll, I can I can click through some of these. I think we got some time. How are we doing on time, Moose? Pretty good. And all you would do is click through on each page where your locations are. It's 38 questions here. I can go pretty quick. And I'll show you what it looks like on the buyer side post submission. I don't want to kind of go through everything here. Wasn't the total intent, but you get the idea that you can fly through the questions and just kind of check mark your pre-filled answers. And again, we are looking into integrations with folks like Foundation and things like that, so that you can pre-fill your responses. So once you're, and I want to kind of flag some of the really cool things that we do at Theorem. Like one of those questions here is what technology platforms do you use in service delivery? So because we have a marketplace of legal tech and the legal services side, we have so much data on the different technology solutions that law firms are using to perform their services. you can actually add that. This is one of the main things that we see in-house teams wanting to know in the RFP process, which is, hey, what technology are you using to be more efficient or to handle my matters, right? Everyone from Harvey to Lagora, all of that is in there. And you can, of course, flag the tools that you're using and kind of what your policies may be regarding those tools. And of course, the buyer can add any restrictions on that side. I don't want to make conversation too much about AI, but it is obviously all the rage. So please complete your, rate card for this engagement. You have a full rate card thing. You can attach any rate card that you've previously created for this, add kind of by role. There's scoping for litigation questions and things like that. But again, I'm just kind of clicking through pretty quickly here so that you can kind of see what the submission process looks like. And let's go ahead and do that. And we're complete. All right. And so when I submit the application, I'll see all of my answers, full audit trail of everything that I've kind of put in here for each thing. Obviously none of this is, just all just demo information. And you can go see on the buyer side what that looks like. So the buyer, if I switch over to the buyer view here, I'm going to refresh and go to the buyer inbox. And I see some things that I have here. Let's go to test to demo. I can see that Theorem firm has responded. Let's see. Live demo. So let's see what we've got here. One of these it went to. And responses. Great. Okay, cool. So the buyer can then compare all of the vendors that have responded, view the vendors that have responded. This is my CTO here. They can move the status of that response to under review. It will flag. There's all the notifications built into the system. And of course, they can compare those responses side by side for each section and apply weights. I don't want to go through kind of that whole submission piece, but the next step is obviously they would connect with you all, engagement and that kind of thing. And of course, if your firm were not to be, selected for whatever reason or rejected as a part of the response piece where they can decline, you will receive that notification of that your response was rejected. And we are incorporating a workflow to tell you why your RFP response was rejected. We've heard from sellers that they really want to know, well, what was the reason why my firm wasn't selected? Was it price? Was it something else? Did I forget a question? Was I not using the right, technology tools? Whatever the case may be. So really easy interface of back and forth on the platform without kind of, going too far into it. I wanted to give you a quick look at the buyer intake. So when a buyer, any in-house legal department that's on here, goes to create their RFP, this is how easy it is for them to do so. You get to build it. If they've built an RFP for this matter, if it's a routine matter, they also have a template. So if they have a routine matter that they often post, they can templatize their creation of these matters. And so they answer a few questions. They talk about the tools that they may be using internally. They add their pricing and budget. They can request which law firms they'd like to hear from. So let's give a shout to Jim and the folks over at Mintz. And they can produce this, hit the timeline, look at everything and submit this. And in the law firms that they've added in here, those firms would receive a notification. And it would be at the top of their seller inbox under opportunities. So quick, super quick fly through the platform. Moose, anything else that we wanted to show here?
No, just a quick question, just to clarify to everyone. Josh, I don't know if you can go back real quick
Of
to
course.
the seller side, but a question about the rate cards and who can see them, who can't see them. Are they private? How can you kind of toggle through those settings?
Yes, of course. So rate cards are always private until you respond. So it's not like they're posted to your marketplace listing or anything like that. Let's see, let's view details of this one. Actually, you know what? I can just create one so you can see the creation process. So when you create your rates, right, it's by role, it's all those sorts of things. And you can apply context to every rate card. You can hit that rate card by matter complexity. It could be attached to a specific client for a particular practice group, for a particular area. So you can have unlimited rate cards. These are only displayed. So we have private, internal, and auto include in RFPs. Should probably put some tooltips in here, but private is if you have a like a specific rate bar for a client. Internal is just viewable internally, and then auto included RFPs might be like your rack rates and that sort of thing. But until you've kind of submitted and attached that rate card to that response, no one's going to see that. And of course, we're never going to let another firm see your pricing submission. So hopefully that answers that question.
Anyone else have any other questions? Feel free to come off mute or drop them in the chat. All right, great. Well, I will be following up with everyone who joined today's. Really appreciate everyone for joining. I